on.
What is going on? You are listening and watching Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. This is episode 350, and I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell are you, Kodi?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful this rainy evening. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Day. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Comic book day. That's right.
Any chance to bring it
That's
up?
a good yeah, that's a good thing. Tuesdays used to be music day, like, back in
Oh
the
yeah.
day. That's when music
Oh
dropped.
yeah.
Now it's like people drop music on Friday or anytime, but that's good to
Hint,
know
hint.
about
Rihanna.
Wednesdays. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we have so much to get into on this episode. We are live. Thank you for joining us live. If you don't join us live and you listen to us, we're live every Wednesday night on the Get Vocal platform. Come join us. It's a lot of fun. You can comment, ask questions, weigh in on hot topics. And let's get started. We have so many updates, though, before we even get started. But these are fun updates. I think you're going to like them. They're based
Yep.
on recent episodes, topics that we discussed. Jeremy Lopez and I were talking about a bar in Chicago that we went to, and I think he got it wrong thanks to Sinfully Good on Instagram, one of our listeners.
It's my buddy.
He told me the bars that we went to that I remembered. They're Touche and Jackhammer. And these two
Oh.
bars are side by side. I remember going to them when I went to IML, International Mr. Leather, several years back. And Jeremy and I made our way with the owner of the Eagle, of all people. I
Oh.
know, it was so random. We went with him and we started at Touche, and they're literally two bars next door to each other. We started
Mm-hmm.
Touche, which was a lot of fun. And I think they have a little like sexiness going on in the bar, but it was next door Jackhammer that literally looks kind of like the same sister bar.
Okay.
However, there's a descending staircase, and I mean it goes all the way down, and you are in this huge ass basement of sex. I
You had
mean,
me at descending staircase,
it's
darling.
crazy. It takes like I remember descending several floors. Like it was like we were going,
Really?
and then you get down there and it was fairly huge, like several rooms, including like a pit that you had to climb in, like crawl space almost. And then when you got in, there's some dark areas in there. It was like fantasy basement, if you will. I was gonna say fantasy
Yeah.
island, but fantasy
The plane,
basement.
the plane. Oh my god, I cannot wait to go. I wanna get
I mean,
jackhammer
heaven
so
forbid,
bad.
like a tornado or something happen. I don't know. You'd either be totally safe or like, you know, you're dead. I don't know, but no one's gonna
Oh,
ever find you down there, and
no.
your GPS doesn't work. I swear. And it's so cool. I'm so glad that he told us about that. Okay, more updates on Grindr. So we were talking a lot about Grindr and Sinfully Good on Instagram, who listens to us in
Mhm.
Chicago, by the way. Shout out to you. He said that, you can create albums with photos and they can't screenshot the photos,
Oh,
which is
wow.
really cool. You can also unshare the albums as well. And I sent you a picture of what you get if you try and screen capture. I'm going to put what
Yes.
you get. I don't know. Is that working? Do you have the picture that you can
That I can try and upload
try
it?
and upload it in there?
Am I that technologically advanced? You
I
have a
thought
lot of faith in me today.
yeah, I'm trying to do it and it's not really working. But it's essentially you get this like
I have a picture with me of me with no shirt on.
yeah. Well, feel free to share it with the people. But this is so great. I think that you can finally share all your albums of all, and I love what they wrote about it is your curated set of photos. You can send them and you can put that, but nobody can screen capture them. They figured out the technology so that you can't do that. That is really a great update, and
That
I'm
is
really happy
good.
they implemented that. Do you have the picture or no?
I'm girl,
You
I'm
can put it in
trying.
there. Don't worry if not.
I am not as I am
Another
not.
update. So we talk a lot about Discord on this. We've started a Discord community, which is a text platform, soon to be a voice platform as well. And you get this perk when you join our Patreon community, our Tags Sex Pause community. The show continues, you all, as the week goes on, and we get into some fun conversations and we share a lot of things. James, who also listens to us in Chicago, told a story when you and I and Jeremy were talking about Grindr horror stories. I
Uh-huh.
don't think he would mind me sharing this, but he said he was in the middle of a blowjob when he looked down and saw the guy he was giving a blowjob had an ankle monitor strapped to his ankle. He
What?
finished the blowjob and got his ass hightailed it out of there. But I
That's
mean, he was
crazy.
kind of freaked out about it, which I think I probably would be too. On the other hand, I might be kind of like so curious. You know me, I'm such a investigative reporter type, and I would
You
be
would
all about, what did you do? What did you
no,
do to
you
get?
would
I
not.
would so want to know. I would. Yeah, I watch a lot of those sometimes when I go to bed. Those crime shows or those replays of crime scenarios that they reenact, and I'm just fascinated with all of it. I would kind of
Now,
want to know,
that is not
who
the
am I?
time.
But the thing is, I don't know that I would be freaked out about it because it needs to be on his best behavior. There's a reason
Okay.
why. Okay, if he was really that bad, he would be in jail. Let's just put
Okay.
that out there. He is
Okay.
not. He is in house arrest, and so therefore it's probably maybe a white collar crime or something, or he's on the last days of his probation. Maybe it's Jussie Smollett for all
Oh
we
my
know.
goodness. Oh, you just had to do that, didn't you?
But I mean, you've got to be on your best behavior, and even having someone over like you or me on your
Uh-huh.
knees is probably like pushing the boundaries.
So wait,
But so I think
he was hosting or the other guy was hosting because
the
it's
other guy
after
was
9
hosting.
o'clock.
Remember, house arrest.
I mean, he might not have been that good if he was at somebody else's house, but you're right. He might have been good because he was at the person's. He was hosting. So okay, all right, I'm here for it. And the police have his address, so you're safe.
Listen to our audience. Back to the other show. Hi, Blake, watching us now on Get Vocal, says, back to the other story about
Yes.
screen capturing. If you have another phone, you can take a pic of the other phone showing the pic. There's always a way. What, are you on house arrest? And what's this burner phone we were talking about that you have? Who's got an extra phone? Well, I guess
Blake.
I mean, I guess, yes, where there's a will, there is a way. The quality's not going to be as great. What else are
Wow.
people saying about the current topic we're talking about?
People, Teddy says felons need blowjobs too, and
Felons,
yes, felons need blowjobs too. And
they
Blake says if
do.
if you're on house arrest, you can't go to the bathhouse, which is another story we had this past Tuesday that just
We
came
did.
out.
Yeah.
And look at Blake just tying it all together. I appreciate you, Blake.
Yeah, but great story, James, who listens to us in Chicago and commented on our Discord channel. We appreciate that. Great story of horror stories, or not really. I don't think it's that horror. Also, we had a poll this week which asked the question: with all that's going on with Grindr, are you still thinking you can meet Mr. Right or even Mr. Right Now on the apps? And I'll have to tell you, Rex, who is a Patreon member, said
Hmm.
that he met his husband on Grindr 6 years ago, and they're still in a monogamous relationship. Bravo, Rex. Bravo, I say. That's
Congratulations.
really good. Yeah.
I met
I
my
mean,
boyfriend on Grinder, so
was it Grindr or Scruff that you met yours on?
I don't remember. It was so long
Oh, you
ago.
better get that right. Holler at Can we get an answer before the end of the show,
I'm pretty sure
please?
it's Grindr.
Can you wake her ass up and ask?
I've deleted it, so he's
Like,
deleted
can
it
you
as
ask
well.
him?
I'll text him right now. I can't
Okay.
get out of this. I'm entrapped, but in the spare room
Entrapment.
by boxes.
Are you on house arrest?
I-
Congratulations, Rex. That's a great story, and you give us hope. So does Kodi, my co-host. So shout out to that. Shout out to Ben. Ben says, who listens to us on YouTube, says, I love the podcast, guys. Ben listens to us in Liverpool, England, and I really want to go to Liverpool, Kodi. I love England, so
I love
really
it
cool.
too. Yeah.
Yep. And also announcement here, next Tuesday, March 29th, we are starting our Discord chat community. It's called Deeper at 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you join our Patreon at the sub category and above, you can join and be a part of this conversation that's going to be deeper, a lot like Clubhouse when we did those back in the day. And Kodi
so
and I will
much
be
fun.
hosting us, but you guys get to chat. It's going to be kind of a round robin of sharing stories. It should be a lot of fun. You can go to patreon.com/TAGSPodcast to check it out. All right. Also, in updates, this one we have a story follow up on is Disney. You know, we were talking about Disney on recently on how the CEO essentially the company Disney put money in the Don't Say Gay bill in
They sure
Florida.
did. Yep.
As many of you might know, Orlando is the home of Disney World, but Disney
The House of Mouse.
employees staged a walkout this past Tuesday in protest of the company's response to Florida's controversial parental rights and education law, which critics have dubbed, like I said, the Don't Say Gay bill. Many of the employees at Disney headquarters in Burbank did protest as well. It did not appear to be as massive showing across the company. Quote, we know how important this issue is for our LGBTQ employees, their families, and the allies. We respect our colleagues' right to express their views, and we pledge our ongoing support of the LGBTQ plus community in the fight for equal rights, said a spokesman for Disney. Interesting response. They seem to be standing up for the people that are walking out. Disney is.
Yeah. They support their
Interesting.
employees. So
Yeah.
but so that's why it was surprising to me, but kind of not. But I really don't think that they should put their money behind that bill. I think that they should withdraw their support, or I don't know, they can't take their money back, but it's already too late. They have to do all the damage control they could do now.
Right.
hmm
Yeah. Interesting. Walt Disney
hmm
stood for non-discrimination for stood for but all equal rights for all, and he
hmm
was Disney himself. So
Yeah.
I just think that they're kind of walking it back, but I think if you were an employee of Disney, wouldn't you also want to be a part of this walkout too? I mean, we just talked about it recently. How many LGBTQ plus people we
Yeah.
know are on the cruises, are on the theme parks, are on film? I mean, come on, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I wouldn't have to work. Oh, come on now. It's a non-issue for me. Let's walk it out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, moving on, these next two stories I'm calling cop stories. I love a good related stories when they make the news of our LGBTQ world. And in this first story, an influential gay police sergeant who is president of the Miami Police Union says he was suspended after he pulled out a gun on a man he was hooking up with after the man attempted to extort money from him.
Okay.
Let's talk about Grindr horror stories here.
I know, right?
Tommy Reyes, who's 36, was suspended last month and was almost charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon after he pulled a gun on a man he met at a Tallahassee Hampton Inn and Suites in January.
Okay.
The Miami News Times reports he says he did so after the man stole his wallet. Quote,
Oh
I
my.
was a victim and I have nothing to hide, but I cannot comment on an open investigation, Reyes told the outlet. I was a victim of a crime and Tallahassee PD victimized me again. Reyes
Oh,
was simply visiting Tallahassee and he met the man through Grindr. And during the disastrous hookup, the man pretended to climax by spitting on Reyes's back. Okay,
been there before.
Reyes was getting Reyes was getting pounded. According to a police report, the man found out Reyes was a cop and took the wallet. That's interesting turn of events. Did
I
he find
know,
out he was
right?
a cop? Did he find out he was a cop and then take the wallet?
That's
Or
that wouldn't be my first go-to if I found
if
out
he
that
was a
somebody was a cop.
cop? I
Like
mean,
that.
I'm confused. The man then allegedly tried to blackmail Reyes over Grindr
Mhm.
unless he paid for, quote, a shopping spree. He ended up spending more than $1,300 on computer gaming accessories using Reyes's American Express. The two
Okay.
agreed to meet at the hotel parking lot where Reyes allegedly took the man's car keys. The New Times reports. The man said he still has Reyes's wallet and that the police officer responded, "And I've got a gun." Reyes
Oh.
then pulled his gun and held the man at gunpoint, ordering the man to get on the ground. The man said that Reyes told him, "I should fucking kill you," and
Oh my.
placed his knees on the man's back. The man managed to eventually flee.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on this? Because in some ways, I'm not really mad at the police officer, although I guess if you're off duty, it's not really, you shouldn't be pulling your gun out. But
And
someone's robbing you.
okay. Yeah,
But
and also in Florida, if you are a police officer in one city, you have no jurisdiction outside of your county. I know this. Don't ask me how I know.
oh,
No, I know because my boyfriend's father is a police officer in
you did a little
in
background
Florida.
research.
I
Okay.
mean, I have some prior knowledge. Joe actually wrote a whole book about his experience with his father, and
Yes.
he just finished it. It's called Son of a Cop. It should be coming out pretty soon.
Son of a cop. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that because he wasn't within his jurisdiction to actually go try and apprehend this man, I think that two wrongs don't make a right in this situation. He should have let the Tallahassee police handle the situation and
Yeah.
and
Yeah, especially what we know about police officers today and how strict codes are and how you have to follow them. Obviously, you're mentioning one, if you're not in your jurisdiction, if you're off duty. The man, I think, maybe tried to rob him, maybe because he knew he wasn't in that jurisdiction, so he was trying to
Mhm.
blackmail him in that regard. That's the only thing I could think of,
Yeah.
because do you think that this other guy will have to pay any repercussions, the guy that stole the wallet?
More than likely, I think that
Can
the
we get Joe
police
in here
officer
too?
and he says that we met on Grindr, by the way. So that's
Okay, all
directly,
right.
yeah, that's directly related to this story as well. Because hello, Grindr, police officers, Florida. It's basically my boyfriend. I'm gonna get out for a minute and I'm gonna let him sit here and talk about this topic really quick. Now, I do think that what will end up happening is that the guy who stole the wallet will get charged, but I don't know if you mentioned this, the police officer actually got suspended, and that reeks to me of homophobia and because of a tip, so he got suspended. It was and
No,
he
but you
said,
just said you kind of agreed with.
but I don't agree with him getting suspended because he was gay.
I
He
don't think he was being suspended because he was gay. I think he was being
no,
suspended because he, like you said, probably pulled out a gun when perhaps either he was, I don't know if there's something to be said about off duty or not. I don't know. Or, like you said before, in the wrong jurisdiction.
it says because of a non of an anonymous complaint. He said he can't go into details because of
Oh,
the
so it's
openness.
kind of an ongoing investigation.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Do
We'll
you
see
think
what
there's
ends up
something to be?
happening.
I'm wondering, this would be something for you to. Do you have a good relationship with your soon to be father-in-law someday, that
Oh
you
my
could
goodness.
ask this? This would be a really good question to ask, because I'm just wondering if he was suspended because he mixed his personal life with, like, forget Grinder, but just the
Mhm.
fact that he was on his off time.
Yeah,
Our next story is a little bit more muddled,
yeah.
where the cop is. on duty and doing some crazy ass shit. This guy was clearly off duty,
Mhm.
but yet he pulled out his gun, which is supposed to be for work purposes only. That's where it gets a little dicey. We don't know so much because it's an ongoing investigation, and when we find more, we will report back because we love to give updates on this. But if
Yes.
you can do a little sleuthing around,
I'll ask Joe to ask his father. I
that's
like
right.
him.
You're kind
He's
of
a
like
nice
close to the
guy.
mom, but maybe
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get in trouble now.
I really want to know if any of our cops out there have some insight into this. I will post this on tagspodcast.com for you guys to read it in depthly because it's kind of, but it is an ongoing investigation. Okay. The other cop story that caught my attention is to protect and service. That is the
Oh,
mantra that another Florida-based cop.
there it
Why are
is.
they all based in Florida?
Why is everything in Florida?
To protect and service is the mantra that one Florida based cop took while on duty, according to his ex girlfriend. Claims, among others, include that he had sex with male escorts while on duty, have since seen
What?
the cop out of his job. So this one's out of his job, not
Uh-huh.
suspended, out of his job. Joshua Brack was a sheriff's deputy with the Palm Beach County Sheriff until his ex, a woman scorned, presented the force with an entire list of misdemeanors. So listen to these misdemeanors.
Yeah.
It
Here we go.
included bringing home pot for her to sell,
Strike one.
taking bribes for traffic infractions,
Strike two.
sending her photos from crime scenes, including that of a decapitated head,
Strike double three. Oh my God, that's
because of the
crazy.
two heads, right? You got to double four, and sending dick pics to men on Grindr.
Hey, I've done it before. You've done it before. We've all done it before. And
Yeah,
it's not a crime.
again, but apparently his uniform is in the background. His uniform pants are
Mm.
lying in the floor next to him in one of the photographs. I'm not sure. Again, I am not a cop or in the field. This is
Yeah.
more you could have so much for your future father-in-law to ask on these two things. He would be I would love to be a fly on the wall if you were asking these
I'll give you
questions.
his number.
This all happened last June when the ex called the cops to report all the allegations resulting in police surveillance of him for 12 days. And she stated that he did not keep up with their bills and believed he was spending his money on male prostitutes and pornography.
Ooh.
Wow. This is nuts. Now, this guy is just abusing. I mean, he was a deputy. What did I say? Deputy sheriff? Sheriff's deputy. I'm not sure what that
Okay.
means, but sounds kind of high ranking. And
Yeah.
what in the name of abuse of,
Of
I
power.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And it does reek of Florida. Both of these do.
They
Did
totally
they
do.
just like, do they need to be cut off from the rest of, sorry, Florida listeners out there,
You guys can
but
come back home, but we gotta let the rest of the state go.
yeah, stand right in and stand up for your state, but and tell us why you love it. But I mean, my goodness.
This is crazy because he wasn't fired because he had his girlfriend sell pot or he sent pictures of a crime scene.
Allegedly, but
Allegedly. Okay, all right. That's right. Or allegedly took bribes. He was fired because he was hooking up with guys on Grindr. That is mind blowing to me because it just reeks of the homophobia that is indicative in this story. Because if he was a straight cis man doing this, would he be reprimanded in the same way? Would he be fired? I don't think the answer is yes, honestly.
I know, but you've had this slant in your responses for both stories claiming
Hmm.
homophobia, and I'm not arguing with you. I don't
Okay.
know, but I believe that could be true. But they did mention in this last story that he also had his uniform in some of the shots that he was sending that they captured. And that to me is I don't know, is that sort of a breach of abuse of your job to be on the apps with your uniform? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you were a chef at Chez Poupou down the street. Could you have your chef hat on?
Sounds very
And
fancy, by the way.
it is. I've been there. There's a lot of poo-poo out there. I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, is the restaurant going to be mad at you for? No, you're probably
No,
right.
not at all. I feel like if my perspective on this is if he was a straight man, then he would not face the same repercussions that this homosexual. Oh, he's not even homosexual, he's bisexual. Uh, or he self-described.
Identifies.
Yes, exactly. Uh, just because he was having sex with men, he's has a different repercussion than a straight cis man would. That's how I see it in my eyes. I would love for the Florida State Police to prove me wrong.
Thank you, Teddy, for clarifying who the sheriff deputy is. He's the
Oh my
second in
goodness.
command after the sheriff.
Thank you, Teddy.
What does the sheriff do? No, I mean, can we get,
I'm gonna three-way him in, Joe's dad.
He could grab a spot on our show here.
Would love to talk to us about
I would. Are you serious? This would be so much fun. I'm feeling.
Yes, he would love to. He's a very, very nice man. He's an intense man, but he's a very, very nice man. So I
feel like we're turning into shock jock. What's his name? Howard Stern. If we got your future father-in-law on the show, we would be turning into the gay version of the Howard Stern show, and I would live for that. It would be so much fun.
I'm okay with being Robin. I love her.
You can be Robin, yeah. Yes. What else is people saying? Well, I get the next story.
Teddy is saying, I'm always curious about who reports the Grindr fines. And this queen. He also says, was his Grindr name Cop Fucker? And
Cop Fucker, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an ongoing thing. I really would love to know from a cop if we can get a cop to weigh in. Speak up.
I don't know that many cops. I only know Joe's dad.
Or Joe's dad. I would love that too. So let's work on that. Moving on. In the meantime, we've got other stories to get to. All right, this next story kind of reminded me, it's a little bit of a deeper thought on aging. It's a Reddit thread that really caught my interest. I could kind of relate in some ways. It's entitled Dealing with Aging as a Younger Looking Guy. I'll explain more. Perhaps that should have been the title to my. Okay, so some of us were lucky enough to look youthful into their early 40s.
Oh.
However, as the signs of our age, thank you. However, as the signs of our age start to become visibly noticeable, how do we go about accepting that, especially if you took advantage of the benefits that the perceived youthfulness provided? It seems that it is more of a slow acceptance now that I think about it, a sort of coming into this new place in my life. And he asked the question, any nuggets of wisdom from those who have embraced aging would be greatly appreciated. I like what some people wrote on the comments. They wrote, reframe it. What is the point of not accepting it? You won't stop time from passing, nor biology. You'll make yourself feel bad for no indiscernible benefit. You have two choices. Make the most of the new reality, like change your style a little, for example, or live in a distortion field where you are making yourself miserable due to perceived problems completely in your own imagination. Who in the hell wants the latter? I love that. Somebody else wrote, I'm 45 and I had a high metabolism and was skinny, but I consider myself handsome through my 20s. My metabolism slowed when I got into my 30s, but I was still fit and got more muscles. This carried into my very early 40s, and the gray hair started setting in while putting on just a little bit of weight, not quite as ripped. Then COVID happened, he writes, and my hair and my beard have grayed significantly. I feel like guys pay me less attention than they used to. I know some may look at me and say you're being silly or poor you, but for me, it is my reality of what I'm feeling. I don't feel as good about myself. And where I used to scoff at guys who fretted about getting older, for the first time, I felt like, damn, getting older and losing that youthful beauty sucks ass big time. He goes on to say that he has a younger boyfriend and who gets more attention than him, but he's working through it, I think.
Aw.
I can kind of relate a little bit of this. I had like a
Okay.
brief moment, because I've always looked younger than my age.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
And COVID did happen, and I kind of, changed a little bit. I was looking at pictures of my 40 extravaganza parties that I had in
Mhm.
Brazil and San Francisco and LA, and I was performing and all this kind of crazy stuff.
Mhm.
And I was ripped and lean and mean, and I still work out, but I'm like, don't look like that anymore. But you know what? It's okay. I did have a period where I talked to a lot of people, my sister, my family, my close friends, on the changes that I was going through, although subtle in many ways. And I had to make amends. I had to transition my mind, and none of it had to do with sex or
Mhm.
the amount of sex I was getting,
Yeah.
but it just how I felt about myself. And particularly because I was somebody that was like a go-go dancer, and I was a model for years,
Yeah.
and I was put on covers. And I was younger looking, so I got to push it really late into my 40s. And so I do think as gay men, we do have a transition time frame that we have to really look at ourselves and ask the question, what are we going to do now? How are you going to pivot? And I think ultimately you got to find that moment when you're going to pivot into your new self
Mhm.
and make peace with that and make peace with what was.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Could not agree with you more. For me, COVID kind of changed my body, but I think what a lot of people don't realize or they should probably take into account is that it really affected a lot of people in the same way. It really affected people as far not only mentally, but it affected them physically because I gained a lot of weight during COVID. I know so many people that because they couldn't go to the gym, their bodies completely changed and they
Yeah.
didn't even recognize themselves. So I think that that's like the first thing that people have to take is that it's not just happening to you. This is a shared experience that we're kind of going through. Now, as far as aging and looking youthful, I've always looked younger than my age. When I was in my 20s, I looked like a teenager. I hated it.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but now that I'm in my 40s and I look like I'm in my 30s, you looked over to the side, you know. Did you not believe I was 40 something,
I was looking
darling?
for Joe to see if, like, can you hear this bitch over here? I was texting Joe to see if he got my text on, are you listening to this bitch?
He's all the way on the other side. He cannot hear a
Uh,
word I'm
the
saying.
other wing, darling. The other wing.
Look, somebody just told me the other day that I look better now than I did in my 20s. And I can see it. I can accept that. And I think it's in part because I have learned to accept my body as it changes. I embrace the changes and I work with what I've got. And I think that that is part of the process because you're not going to look like you're the same. You're not going to be frozen in time for your entire life. So I think that,
But to this person's point, and this
yeah.
is what I totally dealt with, and I remember having several conversations, a lot of conversations during the pandemic. I remember with my sister and with some of my closest friends. Here's how I know I was changing though, because I would have
Hmm.
never had these conversations with anybody in the past. So
Okay.
part of my signaling that I was accepting was working through it
Hmm.
through not deep, but conversations,
Yeah.
and me
Those are
really
they're
opening up. I would have never wanted to admit that I'm aging or
being
anything like
vulnerable.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what I relate to what this person was writing is, if you, like yourself, if you've gone and pushed it for so long, way into your 40s, where people are like, oh my gosh, you look so young, And particularly because we are in such a body conscious community,
Yeah,
I
it's true.
looked at pictures of myself for my 40th and my 42nd birthday and even into my mid 40s, and I was still lean and ripped. And but you know what, I didn't realize it then. I didn't think about it. I just
Okay.
kind of, I mean, I worked out a lot, but it just, and then there's a certain point where it shifts a little bit and you realize, oh, wait, it's not
Uh-oh.
as easy anymore. And but I think through what I would advise this person, this is a Reddit thread,
Mhm.
is I love that this person wrote in and discussed it. That's kind of almost like any change, or even, dare I say, when addiction, the first step is admitting you have a
Yeah.
problem. I'm not saying that this is like an addiction, although you could be addicted to your former self.
Yeah.
And part of it is wanting to talk about it, and that helped me so much. And even little things like glasses, wearing
Mhm.
glasses, and I love wearing glasses now
I
when I
wish I could
can.
find mine. They're somewhere in this house. But I think that you mentioned that we are in a community that, is we're judged on our youth and our beauty. I think that women get it a lot more than we do, and I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
we have the opportunity, we're afforded the opportunity because of the communities that we're in to actually kind of accept it and to find people that do appreciate us as we age. My boyfriend is younger than me and he loves that I'm a daddy. So I said my advice is find the people that love you. And I've said it before and I'll continue to say it.
Yeah, it really takes a moment. It takes time, though, I think, to
Yeah.
get over that hump. But once you do, and once you start accepting yourself as to who you are now, like I said, I'm not sure if I read it already, but one of the persons in the Reddit thread said, like, what's the alternative? Somebody wrote, try and be the best that you can be. Like, take care of yourself. You were taking care of yourself. Chances are, all those years where you looked really young, you probably still look really good,
Yeah.
but do things that make you happy. And maybe it's a shift. I've shifted so much, and I got over that hump. Part of it, though, for me, was really conversing with people and expressing how I'm not that person that I appeared to be for so long.
Yeah.
And I can't stress it enough. I love when people say, I'm very thankful when people say you look amazing, and I really thank people for that. But it's an internal thing that I
It
have to
totally
feel.
is.
And I had to go through, for someone that really was idolized in a lot of different small compartments of
Uh-huh.
life, that I had to find new ways to go over, and I have, and it's happened, and it happened last year, and I'll never forget. Most of it happened just with being honest with myself and finding new ways to move forward and be happy with myself and transition, if you will.
Yeah, as you
To
change, as
Yeah,
your body changes, change your mentality as well. I love that. Very good
yeah,
advice, darling.
yeah. What are people
So,
saying? Oh, go
okay,
ahead.
before
Yeah.
we talk about that, is there anything, because one of the options, of course, is to get things done, and I am curious if you would ever take that leap and get anything done, like plastic surgery, anything like that.
No, I can honestly say years ago in 2012, I was
Mhm,
going to a dermatologist, and she did this is 2012. I
mhm.
did Botox
I
back
want
then.
Botox. I want
So I
Botox
did
for
it so I
sure.
did it back then a couple times for fun, and I got my boyfriend, who was 10 years older than me, and he
Okay.
had to do a lot more. And it was a lot more money, and it was great. But I look at those pictures back then in
Uh-huh.
2012, and I look almost a little frozen. Like, I didn't
Okay.
like the way I looked. And
Okay.
I can honestly say, maybe I would do I haven't done anything
Yeah, me
other
either.
than back then. I was doing it like 2012, 2011, 2012. I did it several times.
Mhm.
But I look at those pictures and I'm like, I look good, but I look a little like mannequin-like. I don't know. Those pictures are not on there's one on my mantle that I'm looking at right now that I think was during that period, and it's just a
Yeah.
little glossed over for me.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything since then. I would consider maybe doing it, maybe a little bit, just like in that frown area, perhaps, maybe.
Okay.
But that's it. I'm working out. I eat healthy. Since the broken ankle, I'm back in the gym. I'm meditating. Those are kind of the things that I'm doing. That's kind of the main things that I do.
Yeah. I
Any other
can hear
secrets you
that.
want?
No, no, no. I just was wondering because I am completely insecure about like my hair is thinning. So that might be the only thing, that and Botox. So yeah, that is the
Here's a
only thing.
biggie. Here's a biggie,
Hair is
like
a big
either
deal.
going gray or losing it.
I don't really
The one
mind the
thing
gray.
about see, I don't that part I don't like for me at all. I don't want to go gray.
Really?
No, not for a while. But losing it, my family, my mom has so much hair that
So lucky.
I'm not losing any hair. I have if I grow it, it's just oodles and oodles of hair.
Give me some.
Yes. Oh, yes. I met one of our listeners listening to us, Jen. We had coffee last week.
Oh, that's so
And thank you,
cute.
Jen. He says, what y'all let you read it?
So Teddy goes, Kodi looks amazing in person.
Oh, you had to
And
read that one.
well, it doesn't make sense without Jen's
Okay,
doesn't
yeah,
make
you're
sense
right.
without reading. And then Jen says, I haven't had the pleasure of meeting Kodi yet, but Steve looks finger looking good in person. I mean, yours was
Ah.
coming, bitch. I mean,
Okay.
God can't always be about you. Most of the time, yes.
Okay. Thank you for that, guys. That's really
Yes.
what is he Blake says
Blake
you were
says,
frozen, but now
yeah.
you let it
Oh,
go.
that's
Let
cute.
it That's you. We got a musical genius on our
I
hands
know.
here.
Come write a
What
song
else
for me,
does
bitch.
Blake say as you
He
pour
did
your
Boz.
white claw?
This is
Cody drinks White Claw, FYI. Let it go.
it's easy, honey. It's easy. So a middle name. Anyway, so Blake says
Easy
he
like
did.
Sunday morning.
That's right, sing it. So Blake says he did Bosley hair procedure and he thinks it helped a bit, but he doesn't know it was worth paying for it for 4 years. So, all right, that gives me a little bit of something to think about as far as the hair replacement thing. I feel like I would go to Brazil though
A
and get
friend of
mine
mine,
done.
keep in mind though, is Propecia still a thing?
I think it is. Or the hymns. Somebody told me about hymns too. So I
Keep in
think that's
mind,
the
somebody
same
told
thing.
me something about Propecia and how it affects, just don't quote me on this, but they did tell me that they found that their levels of their prostate levels were pretty high. And then when they said they were on Propecia, they said, oh, that changes everything.
The
They're probably
testosterone.
even higher
Oh
than,
wow.
yeah, by being on Propecia. So,
Oh, okay. Maybe some
but
minoxidil.
yeah, just do some research on that.
Or I could
All
just
right.
take it from here or my back and just put it on my head.
That rug, I guess. Do you want to get to the hair removal one? Which one? What story do you want to get to next? I'm gonna
Oh
leave it up to
man,
you.
you're gonna let me choose?
Yes,
Okay. Oh no, yeah, that feeds right into the
it
the
does
next one.
kind of.
It does. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. A recent Reddit thread asked the question. He told me he used laser hair removal to get rid of his armpit hair, and I'm devastated. He writes, I know this sounds crazy. I know this sounds shallow. I know some read the title and probably thought, is this guy for real? But hear me out. I met a guy on a dating app, not to be confused with hookup apps, a little more than a month ago. We have had a few in-person dates, long phone conversations, and countless texts. For the first time in a long while, I was starting to think this would actually go somewhere because we have a lot of similarities.
Okay.
For the record, now this is key here, y'all. My biggest turn on is when a guy has hairy armpits. Interesting. This has been a fetish and a kink of mine since elementary school. I'm talking average hair to full-on jungle. I love it
Oh.
all, and to me, the more pit hair, the better.
Oh,
My
Don
other big
King under the
My,
arm to arm.
okay, yeah, Don King under the armpit. My other big turn on is body hair in general, and again, the more hair, the better. I am also black and I have significantly more body hair than your average black guy.
Okay.
A few days ago, the guy and I were talking, and the conversation led to armpit hair. Okay. How's your coffee? When are we
I
going
knew.
out next week? Do you want to go to Le Chez Fufu? Oh, how's your armpit hair doing? Well, he told
Perfect.
me he did laser hair removal on his armpits.
What?
The record scratch in my head went on board, and him and I have messed around before, and I noticed then that he had no armpit hair. I was a little turned off then, but not too much because we were in the moment, and I assumed that they were just shaved and would grow back. But I was really sad to find out that he used laser. This is permanent, right? He asked. I feel very shallow for questioning it if I want to continue this romantic venture with him, but I know that I won't be fully satisfied sexually with him since he lacks my biggest turn on. I
What?
can't state it enough how
Okay.
obsessed I am with hairy pits. Have you guys been in a similar situation? What are your thoughts? No, I have not
I
wanted
know, right?
Don King on my armpit, and I can't relate.
In a
Like,
headlock.
you have hairy armpits,
I
Cody. What are your
do. I
thoughts?
I just flashed them to everybody.
I actually don't, and I manscape them off
Do
using
you really?
Manscaped or product endorsement. Yeah, I don't really like them very much,
Ding.
but
I am not. It's the armpits or whatever, but I do like a significant amount of body hair. I like for it to be an ample bush. I like to have some chest hair. I'd like to have a little bit of hair
you
on.
would hate me because I can't grow any.
Really?
No, no, no.
Wow.
So
But
yeah.
it's not something I'm gonna break up with somebody about. If you have a
Well,
lot in
that's a
common
good.
with
Yeah,
somebody,
that's a
that's not.
good.
No, because my boyfriend hates to have body hair. He has enough for me to be happy all the time, uh, naturally, but he likes to shave it. So
Let's pose the
I'm not gonna
question to
break
our
him up. I'm
listening
not gonna break up
audience
with him.
right now. Is there something in a body feature on somebody that is a big turn on that if they didn't have it or they got rid of it, you would get rid of them? Or
Uh,
would you try and work through it? I mean, I think that's the biggest question on this Reddit thread
you
is he being
answer.
shallow? And a lot of people wrote, yes, you're being shallow.
What do you
Um,
think? As opposed, while they all answer.
Well, I think that he is initially I thought he's being shallow,
Hmm.
but I don't think I understood it as much because I think I thought I'm not into like hairy armpits. So for me, it's a no brainer. Like if he laser, I'd be like, yay. But I have to think about it. I had to put in something that is important to
In
me or
context for
something
you.
that I
Sure.
like in somebody,
Hmm.
and I had to kind of reframe it. And I have to say, although I have certain fetishes, I like really good feet, but it wouldn't. I think I would still be with the person. That if I
Oh,
really liked the person, it wouldn't be a deal breaker in the end.
yeah.
Now, if I was dating somebody and all of a sudden they had a personality that was came out of left field, for
Yeah.
example, like all of a sudden they started screaming on the street at a doorman
Hmm.
or screaming at a waiter that I thought was totally rude,
Hmm.
I no, then we would have a problem because don't treat people poorly, and we're gonna have a problem from here on out if you continue to do like rudeness.
Yeah.
If I saw that like midway through us dating, major issue. But if it was something like hair or some like a feature that they changed, or maybe like I liked facial hair, but they
Hmm.
shaved it off, I might tell them that, oh, I preferred it when you had that.
Exactly. That.
But I would say something like that. I remember there was a story that I had long hair and a guy I was dating said, "Oh, I liked your." Oh, he didn't like. No, it was I was growing this mustache, this little thing that I have growing on my upper lip right now. And he said, I like it smooth because I always feel, he said, I always feel like people are hiding something when they grow facial hair. And I said, oh, so I shaved it
Oh,
off though, because I
oh
don't have that much of
wow.
a full mustache. So it
Uh-huh.
was easy for me to shave it off.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that if you can have a preference for a body feature, but if as long as it's not something personality wise, it's not a deal breaker for me. Joe really, really likes for me to have a beard, but sometimes I don't want a beard. So I do it for him as much as I can. And then when I'm ready to shave it off, I shave it off. And he still thinks I'm the most beautiful thing in the world. And he
Of
keeps texting
course.
me talking about
Right now.
what did I say? I didn't say it.
Oh my God. Yeah, people are. Teddy says shallow as fuck regarding the
Yep.
armpit hair. Jen says maybe eyebrows. I need the guy to have eyebrows. Well, don't most people have
I
eyebrows?
know that's exactly what I
Or
thought. Unless they shave
explain
them off.
yourself, Lucy. Why? But
Where are these people without eyebrows?
do you
Oh
want
my
good?
goodness.
Do you mean good eyebrows? What did he say?
He said he dated a guy that shaved them off and it was weird. And
Oh.
that might that might be the one time if it's that if I might actually advocate for you breaking up with somebody if they shave off their eyebrows.
Yeah, that's
No,
strange.
it
Yeah.
it kind of is. It just depends. Okay, why did he shave off his eyebrows? Then that is the only deal breaker. That's defining factor
It
right
is an
there.
interesting question though, because you are attracted to certain features on guys. You're attracted to hair on the body.
Yeah.
Jen's attracted to eyebrows. I'm attracted to a 10-inch dick.
Saw
But
that one coming.
yeah, but you can't. I mean, but sometimes people change in the process. Not the 10-inch dick. If you have it, you have it. But
Hey.
things happen and people change their look. And I think ultimately you have to go for the personality. And I think you can make certain suggestions like, oh, I liked it. I preferred it when you had this.
Yep.
But you have to let your boyfriend live and be
And be
them.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yes. Ooh, are we on in sync right now?
We are in sync because ultimately they have to be happy. And I think you can make certain suggestions here and there, and that's totally, but ultimately, because they're going to do them as well, right?
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
you wouldn't like it if they tried to force their opinions on you. So you need to allow them to be who they are so that you can be who you are. And they love you anyway, hopefully.
yeah, right. I think that brings us up to our final topic, right?
I
We didn't,
mean,
did we get to,
we
is there,
missed
I
a
put
whole
it,
bunch of stories.
we did.
But it's okay. We had a fabulous show.
We did. Those, I think those are some of there was a few others that I wanted to get to, but
I
let's get to
know.
thirst trap right
Yeah.
now. I'll let you guys look at the thirst trap right now watching us live. I want to make a quick announcement though that this week, if you are part of our Patreon community, our Tag Sex Pods community, this week Friday, I drop a new after show, a Tags after show. Those are always fun. That's when sometimes I have a guest, sometimes it's just me pondering over the week's topics, giving you a little bit more insight into the
Ooh.
making behind the scenes or a little more extrapolation. Maybe some of these topics that we didn't get to
Yeah.
is always part of the Tags after show.
Maybe I'll
It
come over
drops.
on Friday.
You
Oh,
come over on.
Thursday, so we can do it together. Okay, we'll talk about
Yeah, either one. I would love it if you did it with me.
it. Yeah.
You can, if you want to get the show, it's at our patreon.com/tags podcast. Okay. One of our favorite segments is our thirst trap. When it comes out, it's part of Straight Up Gay Porn's thirst trap. Who took the best shot? This week, they're asking the question out of 20 gay porn stars, who took the best photo or video? Well, it's our job, since this is mainly an audio podcast, but
Mhm.
fortunately our live audience can weigh in, to descriptively describe why we chose this particular shot and vote on it. You can vote on it yourself, because this comes out on TAGSPodcast.com, and feel free to vote and let us know as well. Kodi, who took the best photo or video out of these 20
Oh, I get to
hotties?
go first this week? Okay, all right.
Yeah, because I'm pouring in a little more wine.
Okay, well, let me pour some more White Claw too.
Oh, okay, okay. Multitask then, bitch.
Yes. So this week, my vote goes to Jacob, is JKAB, Ethan Dale. If for nothing else other than the sheer focus and talent it took to take this video, right? Okay,
Oh.
let me set the scene. He is completely naked with his head on the floor and his ass on the couch arm, the arm of the couch. And he's at like a 45 angle. I'm not a mathematician. That's what I think it is. That's what I'm going with. Okay. And he's jacking off in the video and he's squirming and moaning the whole time. And
It's
then
like a
all of
yoga pose.
it's downward dog for sure. And he's squirming and moaning, and then all of a sudden he comes and he shoots into his mouth and on his face. And I think it's just a talent and it's a miracle. And I have to give my vote to him this week because
Yeah, go ahead.
he got a rock hard ovation from me. I mean, a standing ovation from me.
Not an easy job to film yourself upside down. I have
Yep.
tried to do that naked, or
Oh.
I can do handstands.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, I was a gymnast, right? So back
Yeah.
in the day. So I can do handstands, and I've tried to film myself, and I mean, things kind of like gravity. And so I was like, some stuff looked really good. Others, I'm like, so he looks really good in that position, I have to say.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to a lot of the people that are on this one, like Michael Woods, who looks really sexy with his big dick flopping out.
Let me check
Lane
him out.
Colton. Lane Colton also has a really hot dick. There's some really hotties, but mine goes to Big Dick Fig. Surprise, surprise. That's what he goes by, Big Dick Fig, like a fig, Fig. And the reason I really like him is because he's sitting on a couch and he's got like a "don't fuck with me" look on his face. He's
Okay.
got, which I normally don't like or subscribe to, a tattoo that goes all the way up his
On his,
neckline.
I literally was just about to mention
And it
that.
looks so sexy on him. Like, he's got that kind of badass look. He's got a total white t-shirt on that is over it with jewelry. I mean, he's got the look down, the facial hair. He's got on it, like, kind of a really great tattoo on his hand, but just on that instep hand part where your index finger and your thumb meet. It looks like of course I love it. It's a crowned skeleton. And if anyone
Ooh.
knows me, I collect skulls. So I'm all about Dia de los Muertos. And lastly, coming out of his shorts is this nice, thick dick that's semi hard or hard that he's giving us a peek hole at.
Yeah.
And I
There's some
am
big ones on
here
this
for Big Dick Fig. It's so
list.
and I love the room. It's kind of serene. It looks like a nice hotel, or I don't know. It's kind of like a world I want to be in right now, or
Oh.
in that world. What are the people saying? Because we're running out of time.
The people are saying Chow Veron. This is Teddy's vote. And Josh Moore. Josh Moore has a huge dick, number one. And Chow Veron, just his is like 3 inches longer. So you can imagine how big. And Teddy says it's because of Chow. And Blake says Sean Austin, he's ready and I love it. That was one of my votes as well. My second favorite is Junior. You need to check out that video too. He's laying on the bed,
Okay.
he's jiggling his ass. Okay. And then
Jen says Jack Bailey.
What? I missed that one. Is
I
there?
love your Cody post in the comment section. Who do you guys like? Like it's like a color of a sweater. Who do you guys like out of the
Very
sweater
Charlotte of
collection?
me.
Very Charlotte of Cody. Who do you guys like?
They're all so cute. I don't
They're
know.
all so cute. Do you like the pink sweater or the yellow one?
You know what?
It's just like Jack Bailey. We all know why by now. Okay, the ass.
I missed him in
Ass.
Daddy's. Daddy likes Jack Bailey too.
Okay, now 2 votes for Jack Bailey.
And Blake likes Troy Jacobs and Friends. Did you see that one? And he's got, it's like a walrus that I think they call it the
Yes.
walrus, where he has both the dicks on his mouth and he's about to suck both of them.
Cody's trying to reenact it with.
I'm
Wait, did you say that Blake likes Sean Astin? He's ready and I love it.
did. Yeah, I did say
Okay.
that. I really love Sean Astin too. He's one of my.
Did you read what Teddy
favorite
wrote?
questions.
Everyone is a top here. Damn.
I know, right? It's so crazy. That's why
I
I was
love
like,
that.
so when we were looking over the list, Steve was like, "Oh, they're so hot," and I'm like, "Meh, okay, yeah, I don't really."
Wait, isn't one of them's ass in the air or
It's
a couple
Sean
of?
Astin. There's only a couple of them. You were saying that there
Wait,
were so many that you
Bo
liked.
Butler.
Bo Butler is really cute, and that's
And
a
it
good
has an
picture.
ass.
It's only like 3 bottoms on this list.
But there's more than one. Okay, Bo Butler has a. I'm going to read you what he wrote in Twitter.
Okay.
Fuck, I'm legit obsessed with these butt plugs. Perfect size for me and my boyfriend, and they have handles. What part of Bo Butler don't you get top out of, y'all?
It's super
You
cute.
need to relook over the list. Enough.
3 out of
I've
20.
heard enough.
That's not
Silence.
doesn't do me any justice. I like last week's
Silence.
list
I've
better.
heard enough.
Okay. All right. Okay, Rue. Mama.
In the meantime, our squirrel friends over here, you can
Yes,
follow
sorry.
my co-host Kodi Maurice Doggette on Instagram. He's a life coach, you all. That's why he gives such great insight. I don't know about what sometimes, but follow him at KMD Coaching, or at Mr. Maurice. Don't forget, we are join our Patreon community, or consider joining it. Go to patreon.com/TAGSPodcast. And in the meantime, Kodi, continue having hot gay sex.
Yes.
Yes, y'all.